Geauga Local Access Cable GTV is pleased to bring our subscribers Chardon Hilltopper football tonight. A humid Memorial Field as the Hilltoppers host the Kenston Bombers. Happy Labor Day weekend, everyone. Jamie Ward here with my friend Matt Jaworski. Matt, each of these teams beaten in week one, but the good news is it's week two, still very early.
Absolutely, Jamie. Both teams still have a lot of football left to play this year to get on the right track, but boy, a win tonight could set one of these two programs off in the right direction.
Two new head coaches on the sidelines tonight. Pete Thompson, longtime assistant with Kenston. And for Chardon, well, it's Mitch Hewitt, 31 years old, a Chardon graduate, trying to rebuild this Chardon program. A lot has been talked about Hewitt. Some say too much, Matt. But personally, I think it's a great story for the community, and it's a great story for this football nation.
Absolutely, Jamie. Mitch Hewitt is basically Mr. Chardon, if you will. And he means so much to this community. The community would just love to see this football program get back on track because really it's what Chardon is all about, is this high school football team.
Speaking of rebuilding, it is youth night tonight, and so we will go down in just a moment as these teams continue to warm up for Chardon's athletic director to introduce the very special youngsters here in Chardon. Stay with us on GTV.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2011 Chardon Youth Football Night. The Chardon area and the Chardon High School football program have been served by a youth football organization since the mid-1970s. 8 years ago saw the formation of two separate organizations to serve our proud community. In March of this year, these two groups sat down and formulated a plan to better serve the youth in the community and the Chardon High School football and cheerleading programs by forming a single, all-inclusive football and cheerleading feeder organization. That new combined group is called Chardon Youth Football and is full of dedicated parents and kids enjoying the great game of football. Home games are played every Sunday right here at Chardon Memorial Field. As a sign of unity, Chardon Youth Football has opted for this inaugural year to be introduced as one group rather than as individual teams. As their motto reads, one town, one team. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming onto the field the nearly 450 people who are part of Chardon Youth Football.
The Hilltopper Marching Band would like to thank all of the parent volunteers who helped during the preseason, from uniform fittings to band camp lunches to chaperoning. We appreciate the help of our dedicated band parents. All right, Topper fans, put your hands together for the Chardon High School fight song. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand as we honor America with the playing of our country's national anthem and remain standing for the Chardon High School alma mater. Fans, keep putting those hands together and shout "Hey" as we play the Hey song.
Fans here at Memorial Field awaiting the Chardon Hilltoppers, who are now inside the tunnel, surrounded on both sides by Chardon's youth football players. Direct your attention to the tunnel. The 2011 Toppers coming out for the first time. Right down the 50-yard line. Thanks for joining us here on GTV. Jamie Ward with Matt Jaworski. A lot of fans here tonight, Matt.
Ooh, this is a packed house on the Chardon side.
Youngsters will now leave the field, and Kenston, the Bombers, have also come onto the field. They're on the far side, huddled up as we speak. Week 2 action, both teams coming in, no wins and 1 loss. Chardon won the coin toss. They elected to defer to the second half, and Kenston then chose to receive the kickoff. So that's how we'll start things off.
Jamie, this was a game last year won by the Bombers 21-14, and Chardon looking for a little bit of revenge this year, and potential playoff points on the line if Kenston continues to do what they're supposed to be doing for the rest of the year.
Hilltoppers made that game very close. And that was a Bombers team that, of course, went 8-2 in the regular season and ended up making the playoffs as the 8th seed before eventually losing in a rout to Lake Catholic.
Kenston coming out of Division II, Region 5, which is extremely tough year in, year out. You look at this game, Jamie, and I think the big key is going to be, A, the conditioning of these athletes tonight with the weather. Which team can hold up best with the heavy humidity, with the, I'd say it's at least 80, 85 right now here at Chardon Memorial Field.
And we've already been notified that the teams will be taking water breaks. And I've never seen anything like that.
Well, I would imagine it's something that the Ohio High School Athletic Association has the power to do that and to make sure that the athletes are safe during the game. And, of course, athlete safety comes first.
Hilltoppers will kick toward the north end zone where Kenston will receive. Back is number 16, Daryl Richards, a junior, and number 31, Alex Kochev. Those are 2 very important pieces in this Bombers offense. Tyler Hogan is the Chardon kicker. The senior wearing number 9 runs up to the ball, and now he'll pull back and take a 10-yard break from the ball, getting ready to strike it. 12 minutes on the clock. Hogan's kick is up, and it's a good one into the end zone, a touchback.
Hogan keeping it away from the very dangerous Richards. And with that, Jamie, here comes the Chardon defense.
Yeah, Chardon defense. It'll look a lot like it did last week with Blankenship, Wilkes, and McGee on the defensive line. Linebackers, Alex Muir, Quinn Ezar, Zach Berry, and Doug Cross. And in the secondary, Stephen Douglas, number 88, Eric Myeroff, Riley Hawkins, and Joe Connick. Bombers starting from the gun. Quarterback, Austin Zackham, a senior who played on last year's team. Standing on the 15-yard line, takes the snap. He'll keep it himself right side, and he's stopped at the line of scrimmage, no gain.
No gain at all on that defensive line. I think it was Quinn Izar who came in from the linebacking position, just wrapped him up and dropped him.
Zackham will carry the ball a lot, even though he's the quarterback. Had 17 carries in the Bombers' Week 1 loss. Expect to see a lot more out of him. Now he's under center. 3 wide receivers, 1 back. It's number 31. The give is to him running left side. That's Kochev. He gets about 6, maybe 7 yards, and it'll be 3rd down for the Bombers.
When you talk specifically about Alex Kochev, Jamie, he's a kid that, on a defensive standpoint, is a Division I recruit, but he's a heck of a running back, too, and they have to keep an eye on him. Last week, held to 14 yards and 7 carries.
Kochev is the running back here on 3rd down. Zackham in the gun. Richards whose name we'll mention many times, is on the near side. Takes the snap, a whistle, and the play is stopped. 10:54 to play here in the first quarter. Dead ball penalty. It is an encroachment on Chardon. So move it ahead. It does not look like, it will be the first down. So chains will move. Mental mistake early for Chardon.
That is not what the Hilltoppers needed. They had a few of those mental mistakes last week, and fortunately West Jaga had a little bit more. The score didn't end the way that Chardon wanted it to.
Zach Goldfarb is in motion. Zackham takes it, gives it to Kochev, running wide on the right side, and he is brought down by Zach Berry for a loss.
Boy, that linebacking core is just getting in there and blowing things up, and really the defensive line is setting the tone early on, opening up some holes and letting the linebackers do what they need to do.
5-yard loss on the play. Second down and long. Take a look at the Kenston offensive line. They've got Marco Palumbo, TJ Ewing, Nathan Lewis, Sam Coverdale, and Nathan Newcomb. Those are the 5 linemen. Zackham from the gun, takes the snap. He's going to put it in the air, and there's Richards who catches it. Has about 9 yards on the play on the far side. It'll be third down.
Well, Stephen Douglas was giving a little bit of a cushion, but came in and did a solid job to wrap him up and bring him down and not let him get any yards after the catch.
Bombers on 46 offensive plays last week ran the ball 36 times, so that's something they're very comfortable doing.
Well, I think tonight it's safe to say both teams will be running the football a lot, Jamie. The question is, how often will they choose to throw?
On the near side of the field, Andrew Solte and Brian Brezovec are the receivers. Whistle and a flag is thrown. The officials for tonight's game: referee Mark Dobbinspec. He's joined by John Earbar, Jason Pilner, Julius Petro, and Josh Fritz. Penalty is against the Bombers. It'll move them back 5 yards. Third down and long, and Matt, why don't you thank our sponsoring communities?
Absolutely, would like to thank not only those sponsoring, but those not funding tonight's contest for your year-round support. And the sponsoring communities are Burton Village, Chardon Township, the City of Chardon, Hamden Township, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township.
Another whistle, another flag. This time it's going to go against Chardon. Another encroachment penalty.
So back to square one.
Yeah. 5 back, 5 forward. 9:12 to play first quarter. No score. Kenston's going to go right at it after the penalty. Man in motion. Zackham from the gun, rolling to the right. Throwing back across the field to Michael Braun, and the pass was low, and he dropped it. Incomplete.
Wow, a lot of eyes were on that far right sideline. They looked like they had something going there, but coming back and looking left side, and boy, Michael Braun was there open, and he had some running room.
Hilltoppers hold, and the punting unit out for the Bombers. Punter is Andrew Solte, and the Hilltoppers are all kinds of confused right now. Guys running in and out at the same time, and Mitch Hewitt is forced to burn a first quarter timeout because they couldn't get the correct special teams package on the field.
Well, they had an extra player out there. He came off before the punt, but they did call it timeout.
Well, if you're listening to us live here tonight, thanks for doing so. GTV has a new service we're providing this year. All of Chardon's football games can be heard live on Friday nights on Channel 22. Great service if you cannot make the game, especially the away games. And as we get later into the season when the weather starts to change, that also becomes a factor for some of the more fair weather fans. 4th down and 7. Andrew Solte, a junior, is back to punt for Kenston. Good snap. He gets it away. A little bit of pressure by the Hilltoppers. Hits at the 40, bounces ahead to the 43, and that's where Chardon will take over.
Well, here comes the Chardon offense. And Jamie, when you look at the Hilltoppers that are going to be coming out and playing offense tonight, once again, a lot of the same players that we saw last Friday night, including the front five of Blankenship, Wilkes, Ritt, Urchek, and Kepler.
Yeah, and that offensive line, according to the coaches, did play well. There were some issues with some of the blocking packages from some of the other players. Chardon will spread it out here on first down with a trips to the near side of the field. Senior Nick Ruckel is the quarterback from the gun. Ruckel, good snap, throwing near side. Alex Muir has it, and he's immediately wrapped up to about the 40-yard line, 2 yards on the play.
Muir came out of that, I would almost want to say, wing-back or split end set right there. Nice catch, held on to it, and picked up about 3-4 yards on that play.
Coming into the game now, number 7, John Spear, who is a senior. You're going to see a steady dose of various backs for the Hilltoppers. We just saw Muir. Riley Hawkins will get carries. Zach Berry, Paul Judd. Also John Connick. Again, Ruckel from the gun. They're going to try to get the ball in his hands more often. He keeps it right side across the 40 and ahead to the 44-yard line. More positive yards. It'll bring up third down.
Well, Nick Ruckel gains a few, and it's third and about 5. And so far, we saw Kenston move the ball a little bit on their possession. They had a penalty, which gave them the first down. And Chardon, a nice pickup here of about maybe 3 or 4 yards, and they would have their own first down.
Andrew Gray is the tight end in the game. Zach Berry is split out. Ruckel again from the gun. 7:36 in counting. Third down. Ruckel's going to keep it again. He has a hole and gets across the 50 into Bomber territory for a first down.
A big first down, the Hilltoppers keeping it on the ground early, and Ruckel finding some nice holes to make magic happen.
Hilltoppers assistant coaches tonight: Jim Britt, Ray Enrico, Bob Francis, Frank Hall, Brian Landis, Marty Makar, and Don Novotzik. All under the helm of Mitch Hewitt, coaching in his first home game here at Chardon. Toppers again from the gun on first down at the 50. Bolden in motion. He fumbled the football, and the Bombers fall on it immediately. That's number 33, Zach Goldfarb, and there's a turnover.
Yeah, the defensive lineman saw the loose ball, fell on it, and boy, Kenston now has some nice field position. No score here, 7:05 left to play in this first quarter.
Bolden was the ball carrier. We saw Bolden running in week 1 against West Geauga and really had some positive experiences in the second half. Here, though, some miscommunication. And Kenston takes over once again. Coming late onto the field is number 70, the senior TJ Ewing. Ewing in the guard position. Zackham from the gun, rolling to his right, steps up. He's going to keep it, and he will move forward. It's not a sack because he got back to the line of scrimmage, but a good job by the Toppers.
And Doug Cross coming in from the linebacking spot once again in there and able to make the tackle. Nice pressure to force Zackham up in the pocket, Jamin. He took a few steps and gained some positive yardage.
Michael Braun is now in the game at fullback. Second down and 9, 6:34 and counting. Zackham under center, gives it left-hand side. Good running room there. Moving through the line is Nick Lombardi, still on his feet, 10 down to the 6-yard line.
Wow, Lombardi, a couple zigzags, and he was off to the races.
Nick Lombardi, who I was surprised to see in the box score, he had 10 carries, 61 yards. That was one of the bright spots for the Bombers in that opening week 1 loss. First down and goal for Kenston.
Kenston last week, Jamie, 111 total rushing yards, and boy, I bet they're near halfway to that tonight already.
Again, I formation, Zackham under center. Kenston's now going to switch it up. They've got 3 backs, a true power eye right now. Braun at the fullback, Kochev in between him and Lombardi at the tail. A miscommunication between Zackham and the fullback, Kochev, and the Hilltoppers bring him down No gain on the play, 2nd and goal.
Neil Thomas in there and nearly wrapped up the QB and brought him down for a sack, but they just got that handoff in the nick of time.
Yeah, appears to be no gain on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd and goal from the 7.
Daryl Richards is the wideout, near side of the field. Again, I formation. Zackham under center, going left-hand side. It's Lombardi, 5-4-3. He gets down to the 1-yard line. He's just short of the goal. It'll be an important 3rd down and goal coming.
Zach Berry in there to make the tackle, and I believe I also saw Urchek in there as well.
Jared Yurchek, number 58. He's a junior. Hilltoppers will need their goal line defense now. 3rd down, goal, 1-yard line. 5:35 on the clock in the 1st quarter. Straight power eye again for the Bombers. Zackham under center. He gives to Braun up the middle. No sign from the officials. They're shaking their head, and he is stopped short.
Here comes a big decision now for Pete Thompson. What do you do?
What do you do, Matt?
Go for it.
All right. Let's see what Kenston decides. 4th down, and boy, they are just a foot away from the goal. They will go for it. Offense back on the field.
Watch the left side. Richards and Douglas.
Power eye, 4th and goal. And now they're going to turn to the sideline. Coach Pete Thompson giving a signal. Thompson normally heavily involved in the defense. There's the give straight ahead, and the Hilltoppers have stopped him. 2nd momentum, and he gets in.
No. They're going to say they stopped him, Jimmy.
No, Lombardi, there's an official right there who's signaling touchdown. It's a score. Lombardi initially stopped short. Now they're going to huddle up. No, never mind. Never mind, the officials have. Big stop there for Chardon. With 4:44. Hilltoppers, though, have to be careful here. Ruckel under center. He's going to take the snap and just go forward and get positive yards.
A nice, safe play, Jamie. You don't want to cough up the football and give it right back to Kenston for a and goal situation.
Substitutions now, 2nd down and about 8
for
Chardon.
Out to the 3-yard line. Only 2nd down, 8 yards to go.
Ruckel under center, takes the snap, and he's going to go forward. Looked like he got pushed initially from one of the guys behind him. Nothing doing, though, and now it's 3rd down and long. A very difficult situation for the Hilltoppers here.
Well, you're trying to be careful. You don't want to turn over the ball. You don't want a penalty at this stage of the game. But, boy, Jimmy, you need a 1st down here to give your punter some room. To give your team some room. But if you can't, you'd like to at least get as close to that 1st down as possible to give the punter some room.
So 3rd down and 7. 3:36 now and counting. Hilltoppers backed up against their own end zone. The give, no, Ruckel fakes it, running right side, breaks a couple tackles and gets across the 10-yard line. It appears as though he's going to have the 1st down.
Nice run by Nick Ruckel. The senior, Kristen Cross, coming near side and picks up that big 1st down, and ball placed about the 11-yard line.
Into the game for Chardon, Jason Janda. Janda, number 3, a sophomore.
Had a couple of nice catches last week.
Yeah. Ruckel will go from the gun. 3 wide receivers. Hilltopper in motion. Ruckel's going to keep it. Running left-hand side. Now he looks at throwing it right side, but way over the head of his intended receiver, Alex Muir.
Muir was heavily covered, and for a second there, I thought they might be looking at Matt Bolden, who was deeper in the secondary, but an incomplete pass doesn't hurt you.
2nd down, 10 coming. No score. The Hilltoppers gave up the ball at the 7-minute mark on a fumble, but a big defensive stand on 4th down and goal has changed the momentum back in favor of Chardon. Ruckel from the gun. Bolden is in motion. He's going to keep it right side. Breaks into the secondary. Ruckel to the 30, and there's nobody in front of him. 40, 30, Ruckel, touchdown.
89 yards. Wow. And just like that, Chardon gets on the scoreboard and takes a 6-0 lead.
With 2:43 left in the first quarter, boy, they said they were going to use Ruckel more today after he had such a hard time getting going in week 1, and they were not kidding. You saw Ruckel's athleticism there when he hurdled the first guy and continued all the way down. Some T-shirts now being thrown into the stands. Ruckel, the holder. Hogan puts the extra point up and good. 7-0 Toppers.
Hogan kicked that PAT over the bleachers.
Well, it's got to feel nice for Chardon, Matt, to have a big strike of their own and to really shock that Bombers sideline.
Jamie, absolutely. This is something where when that turnover came, the life just kind of became sucked out of the Hilltoppers, especially after that big 50-some yard run. But they hung tough. A big goal line sandwich, as you said earlier, just turned the momentum. And boy, Nick Ruckel, what a game changer. And it's important, too, in this kind of game. You want to play ahead, Jamie. You absolutely want to play ahead. You want to force the other team in this heat and this weather to maybe have to exert a little bit more than they want to at certain points and times.
Kochev and Richards again back for the Bombers. Hogan's first kickoff went into the end zone. We'll see what the senior has planned.
It's so nice, too, for Mitch Hewitt to have a kicker like Hogan who can really take away the opposition in their kick return game, too. He gets a hold of it, and it's an automatic touchback.
Hogan approaching the ball and sends another one to the right side of the field. This time Richards will field it at the 4. Across the 10 to the 15, he's still on his feet, but he's dragged down at the 16-yard line by his jersey. Looked like Jacob Lamaster, a junior, was one of the Toppers in on the play, number 41.
On the tackle.
Kenston will take over, working their way right to left, and on with the ball on the 16-yard line, trailing 7-0. Not time to panic yet for the Bombers, but you can imagine, Jamie, they're going to continue to pound the football.
They had some success with Lombardi. Again, 2 backs. This time the give is up the middle to number 32, it looked like. No gain. No, that was Lombardi, number 37. Nick Lombardi, a junior, 5'5", 150 pounds.
Gain of 1 yard on the carry. Brings up 2nd and 9 for the Bombers.
Now 2:13 and counting. Lombardi, lone setback. Richards on the near side. Zeckham will go to Richards, who makes the catch across the 20. He's immediately tackled by number 88, Stephen Douglas.
Stephen Douglas has really limited him to maybe 1 yard after catch, and that's huge. With a player like Richards, he has a lot of mobility, he has a lot of quickness, and if he gets a good pass and has a little bit of running room, he can take off and make magic happen.
3rd down and about 5 now. Under 2 minutes, 7-0 Chardon. Glad that you've joined us here on GTV. Beautiful evening, although a bit muggy, sun setting. Zeckham from the gun. He's going to roll to his right, looking in Richards' direction, throwing into the middle of the field for number 14, Andrew Solte, but the pass falls incomplete, and the Bombers will again punt.
Zach Berry was right behind the quarterback, and I'm sure Zeckham felt that pressure from behind.
Zach Berry, now a senior, has been starting for the Chardon team since his sophomore year. Middle linebacker, leader of this defense.
Number 14, Andrew Solte.
Solte again to punt for Kenston.
For Kenston, Riley Hawkins, number 25, ready to receive for
He bobbled the snap, and he got it up and away. High kick. Coming in is Riley Hawkins, catches it 45-30 to the 20, and a penalty flag is down, but he gets to the 15-yard line. We'll wait and see what it is.
Hawkins, a nice job of slicing and dicing his way down inside the 20-yard line.
Officials talking it over. 1:22 left, first quarter. Penalty is going to go against Chardon. So wipe away the good Hawkins return. Holding is the call. And the ball will be placed right at the 44-yard line. So Chardon's still in Kenston territory to start this drive.
Well, not bad field position. Could have been a little bit better, but regardless, Nick Ruckle and company come out and are now looking to expand their 7-0 lead.
So Ruckle under center. Bolden is behind him. First down and 10. Connick in motion. Fakes it. Ruckle rolling left. Now he's in trouble. Tries to get it away. Was he out of the tackle box? It's incomplete. So there was no Hilltopper around, but Ruckle able to avoid the sack by just getting it up to the line of scrimmage.
A lot of pressure from that defensive line of the Bombers. And Jamie, we talked about...
Oh, now there's a flag. Never mind. Referee took his time, assessed the situation, and now he calls an intentional grounding on Ruckle. That's a loss of down penalty.
That's a 5-yard penalty back to the
5-yard penalty, now 2nd and 15.
Kenston, we mentioned a little bit of what they did offensively last week against Hudson in that 35-0 loss, but defensively a very rough game. The Bombers allowed 364 total yards of offense, 197 through the air, 167 on the ground.
Just a quick correction, it was a spot foul by Ruckle, and so it's 2nd now and very, very long. So the senior thought he was avoiding a sack, but it was a sack now nonetheless. 2nd down, 24. The give right-hand side to Muir. Puts a move on across the 45 to the 50, and he's pushed out of bounds. So some of those penalty yards are back.
Now chip away a little bit and attempt to put yourself in a little bit more manageable 3rd down situation. 3rd down and, boy, about 15.
54 seconds and counting. 7-0, Chardon.
3rd down, about 14 to go.
Far side of the field is Johnny Spear. He's lined up as a wideout. Ruckle is from the gun. Motion for Bolden, penalty flag, and it'll be a penalty against Chardon. So move the Hilltoppers back with 33 seconds left in the first quarter.
Well, certainly not what you want if you're a member of the Hilltoppers right now.
It's going to make it 3rd down and 20. Into the game for Chardon, number 38, R.J. Pikus. Spear comes out.
Chardon would like a big run here, or a big pass play to get those 19, 20 yards.
Ruckle and Barry are in the backfield. The snap to Ruckle. He has some time. Now he's going to step up and go down for a sack. 1-yard loss at the 45-yard line. So the Hilltoppers, with a tough possession, they'll have to punt it. 20 seconds and counting, first quarter.
Coach Heff and Brennan Divis and company out in that Bomber secondary doing a nice job in covering the Hilltopper receivers. And Jamie, it's something too where for Chardon, we talked about this a little bit last week. They're just not used to that much of a passing game as Mitch Hewitt's trying to bring in. And it's going to take a little bit of time, maybe a couple more weeks before these guys are fully used to getting the ball passed to them.
That is the end of the first quarter, Matt. 7-0 Chardon. A fourth down and very long when we come back. Thank you for listening. If you're listening on Channel 22, don't forget that GTV will have this game replayed Saturday and Sunday at 3, 6, and 9 p.m. Sunday is 12, 3, 6, and 9.
Jamie would like to remind everybody, specifically nonprofit organizations from our funding communities, to send us your announcements of interest at GTV, P.O. Box 336, Chardon, Ohio. And, of course, the zip code 44024. You could also fax it to us here at GTV at 285-9897. Or try the email, if you have digital pictures, at jogatv@windstream.net.
Teams back out on the field. Chardon will now kick toward the south end zone. Jacob Kirsch is the punter. Kirsch, pretty good varsity catcher for the Hilltoppers. Doesn't see any football action other though than as a punter. Back for the Kenston Bombers is Brennan Divis and number 31 Alex Kochev. They will be back, two of them, to receive the punt. Snap to Kirsch, kicks it. Good kick, right-hand side. Hits just in front of the 20. Picked up by Kochev, and he's going the wrong way. Tackled inside the 10. Great special teams play.
Alex Muir wrapped him up, took him down for a big loss. And I believe the Bombers will be starting near their own 10-yard line.
Yeah, inside the 10 on the 9 for Kenston. Bombers coached by Pete Thompson, assisted by Bob Ross, Mike Murphy, Mike Knepp, Josh Jakacki, Brian Kramer, John Cartley, Eric Yerkison, and Ian Knepp. These Bombers coaches have been in this program for a long time. Zackham takes a snap and gives it straight ahead. Good positive yards for the Bombers, just shy of the 15-yard line.
Lombardi just pounding his way through, picks up a good chunk of yards, Jamie. And this is something where, when you look back last week against Hudson, Kenston really had a lot of problem moving the football. They had, I think I counted about 6 different drives. They picked up 0 total yards.
No huddle. The give again up the middle. It is again Lombardi. He barrels ahead. He's got about 10 yards, and it's a first down to the 25-yard line.
Situation where certainly you want to continue to pick up those positive yards and keep the momentum now on your side.
Hilltoppers using 4 down linemen and 4 linebackers right now. 3 defensive backs. Zackham gives the ball again. It's Lombardi. He is taken down. Nice job by the Hilltopper defender. Zach Berry again to hang on to his jersey. 1-yard gain, second down.
Jamie, it's amazing how many times we've called Berry's name tonight. He's just so active from that lineback position.
10:40 now and counting, second quarter, 7-0 Chardon. Bombers again working quickly. Now looking over to the sideline. Zackham receiving the play. One tailback behind him. The give again Lombardi. 4 straight carry going to the wide side of the field across the 30 to 31-yard line. But a penalty flag is down. The clock will stop.
Tyler Carver in on the tackle. And Jamie, that the officials mentioned prior to the game that they were going to be taking 2 timeouts for water. So far, 1 quarter and nothing. So you'd think that maybe sometime in this second quarter, perhaps.
Hopefully they don't forget. They're probably thirsty themselves. Penalty will go against Chardon. Was a good gain by Lombardi. Of course, Mitch Hewitt, in his first year as much as everyone likes to talk about the offense and the wing tee and what you're going to get, Hewitt really likes to talk about defense. Penalty was an unsportsmanlike conduct against Chardon, so that
is costly.
That's a bad one. But Hewitt really is a defensive guy. Played linebacker, of course, at Division I Bowling Green under Urban Meyer. Zackham under center, giving again to Lombardi. He's just shy of the 50-yard line, has about 3 yards.
Not much going on there. And when that Chardon defensive line has a chance to really impose their way, they've been holding Kenston in check. Kenston's had a couple of big runs here or there, but for the most part, this Chardon D has played very well so far at this at this stage of the ball game.
No huddle offense. Zackham from the gun. He's given it to Lombardi the last 5 snaps. Now he'll take a step back, look over at the sidelines again. Neil Thomas, number 77, has come in for the Hilltoppers. 9:30 and counting, second down. Zackham's going to put it in the air. Throw, though, is low, intended for Richards, incomplete.
No, they had Richards open that time. And Richards just not on the same page, a little bit off.
Daryl Richards, great numbers on the roster sheet, Matt. 6 feet 3 inches, 180 pounds.
Well, and he's going against Stephen Douglas, who 6 foot 170.
Should be a pretty good matchup. 9:25, it's 3rd down and 7 for the Bombers. Lombardi, lone setback. Zackham under center. Moving in motion is Mike Braun. Fakes to Lombardi, rolling, he's going to keep it. Having trouble though. Now he looks to throw. He's still on his feet breaking tackles. Goes all the way across the field to the right side and out of bounds. First down, Bombers. Some of the Hilltopper fans a little bit frustrated there, Matt, as Zackham going all over the place. Picks up the first down on a big carry down to the 36-yard line for Chardon.
Zackham faking the pass and keeping it on the ground and managed to pick up the first down. Almost Michael Vick-like there, the way he just dodged some of those defensive linemen and linebackers who were chasing him.
Yeah, ended up running about 30 yards, but he went forward for 14. First down, now 9-10 to play. Faked again to Lombardi, and the pass again to Richards, but low. Zackham is not getting the ball into the hands of his playmaker right now.
No, he's having a lot of trouble with that. And the last couple passes that they've tried for Richards, it's been real short passes too, Jamie. So you have to wonder maybe if Zackham is a little bit more comfortable with the mid to long range passes at this stage. You do have some quarterbacks that just don't like to throw short.
Richards and Brezovic are the wideouts on the near side of the field. Zackham under center on 2nd and 10. He gives to Lombardi, stutter steps, and runs into a host of Hilltoppers, maybe a yard on forward progress, but he was stopped at the line.
7-0 Chardon, 8:50 and counting, Jamie, and third and about 9 probably. So this is a big down here for the Chardon defense. They would love to get the ball back, and really they've almost allowed Kenston to get into 2-down territory as well. So Kenston might be thinking, let's run a play where we can pick up just 4 or 5 yards.
Zackham will go from the gun. Lombardi is to his left. 3rd down and 9. Low snap between his legs. He dropped it, and there's Connick bouncing on top of him, and that's a big loss. You can be assured they're not going to go for that, Matt.
That is huge. John Connick coming in, saw what happened, and made a solid tackle.
Started with the bad snap. It'll be about 4th down and 19 or so, and so the punter back onto the field for the Bombers. Under 8 minutes now. So many Chardon fans here tonight, Matt. Not only in the bleachers, but all around the fences on both sides, bespeckled in their red and black. High snap, but a good punt. Fair catch called for by Hawkins, and he makes it at about the 6-yard line. That's where the Hilltoppers will start things with 7:37 left in the second quarter.
Chardon on the board first thanks to a Nick Ruckel 89-yard touchdown run with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in the first quarter. They would love to add on to it on this drive. The defense certainly has played very well up to this point.
Don't forget, it's Labor Day weekend, which means it's the Great Geauga County Fair, and GTV has lots and lots of coverage of all the different events from the weekend. You can check those out.
Thinking about going, Jamie?
Probably not. Not when I can stay home and watch everything on GTV. There's Ruckel right-hand side, another good gain. He's got about 7 yards.
About the only downside is you can't get that fair food.
That may not be a downside, Matt. That's why I'm going to stay home and watch it on GTV. Into the game for Chardon is Roger Davis, a junior. 7:15 now and counting. Second down and about 4.
Hilltoppers would love a long, slow, clock-eating drive.
There's no question. Now, again, Chardon is having a problem with their personnel. Zach Berry was not in the game. Whistle now. Not sure what the call is going to be. There's been a little bit of confusion with this referee staff. It started back down on that crucial 4th and goal where one of the line judges said he was short. The other one signaled touchdown. Typically, you do not signal touchdown unless you're in agreement with the other judge. Really poor play there. The give there is to the left-hand side. He'll be stopped short of the first down. That was Alex Muir, number 28.
Muir picking up a few yards, and he's maybe about 2 or 3, I'd give it, say, 3 yards shy of that third down, or that first down.
Clock still running, 6:28, 7-0 Chardon. Barry's in the game, as is Connick. This is that wing T. Ruckel under center. Hard snap count. The ball is loose. It's behind Ruckel. He grabs it, tries to avoid the play, throws it with his left hand, and he did have a receiver over on the near side of the field.
Wow. That is not what they generally want to see happen, and that it's going to bring out the punting team.
The ball got through Ruckel, went just short of the end line. He picks it up. He avoids the bomber rush initially, then just heaves it in the air, left-handed, actually dangerously close to one of the bombers. Now, Kenston is going to take a timeout here. Nevertheless, another broken play, but it doesn't hurt Chardon. It was an incomplete pass, and it'll be 4th and 2.
Been quite a few bad plays tonight on both sides where the balls just hit the turf. Chardon one, which was a turnover, did not result in anything, but Kenston, the couple times that they've put the ball on the turf has resulted in sacks.
We mentioned Mitch Hewitt with a defensive background. Pete Thompson, 15-year assistant at Kenston. 12 of those years he spent as the defensive coordinator. Last year under Roger Vasey, who was a longtime assistant. And Thompson, who actually played college football at Hiram College right down the street. He was led then by Mike Knepp. It started with Zinn Gorby, who was his coach at Hiram. Then it went to Mike Knepp, who was actually on this year's staff. And if you look at Kenston, they've just kind of played a shell game over the years with their coaches. But it's kept the Bomber tradition live and well.
Kenston is always a playoff threat year in, year out.
Both of these schools, Division II schools, of course, formerly both in the CVC when Chardon was there. Now it's just Kenston in the Chagrin Division. Jacob Kirsch back to punt. Good snap. Kick is in the air. It'll be fielded by Kochev across the 50 to the 45, and a helmet-to-helmet blow right in front of us. That was Quinn Izar who made the stop. Kenston will start in Chardon territory.
Kenston in very good field position. Was surprised there, Jamie, with that timeout. I thought maybe, just maybe, they might bring some kind of rush and try to block the punt and pick up a quick 6 there. But they don't have too bad field position starting from just inside the 40-yard line.
Not at all. Zackham with an I formation behind him. Lombardi is the tailback. He fakes to Lombardi. He's going to go up top for Richards. Richards has the defense beat, and there's a 40-yard touchdown down the line to get Kenston on the board.
Well, at the 5:49 mark in this second quarter, Kenston hits pay dirt. Now they have a chance to tie the game.
Richards behind Douglas. Great play fake by Kocha. Maybe Douglas just stopped for a moment. Now number 91, Sky Zahner, is in to attempt the extra point for the Bombers. Good snap, and Zahner's kick is good. Game now tied at 7. I know, Matt, it's too early to say, you know, what kind of impact that's going to have, but it kind of feels a little bit, if you're a Hilltopper fan, the way it did last week. They clearly had outplayed West Geauga for 2 quarters. And while there's more time up on the clock here tonight, it just took one play to sort of let the air out of what they had established. Absolutely,
and this was a case where Zackham had been having a lot of trouble in this game going to Richards. Richards had 1 or 2 completions at that point for maybe about 10 or 15 yards, and they had tried a lot of short routes, a lot of quick cuts, and nothing was working. And this time it's just a straight go deep type play, and Richards, I think, just turned on the burners there and kind of left Douglas in his wake.
This is one of the teams that that Mitch Hewitt, one of the things that Mitch Hewitt really has to work on. This Hilltoppers team, it's got a lot of talent, but it has not been used to winning football games over the years. They have to work on establishing confidence after something like that happens. The kickoff goes to Riley Hawkins, who had a foot in the end zone, and so therefore it is a touchback.
It's so hard to change a mindset that has become ingrained in a group of people. And it's not going to be something overnight that Mitch Hewitt can do, but boy, you give him a year or two and he's going to have that turned around in a heartbeat.
So the Hilltoppers will take over at their own 20-yard line with 5:46 remaining in the second quarter. 7-7 is the score. Ruckel under center in the wing tee. He's going to keep it himself. Right side. There goes Ruckel again into the 40-yard line. 20-yard gain on the play.
Ruckel well over 100 yards rushing in this first half, and he has made some great decisions with the football and put Chardon in nice field position as he ran right side.
Something we have not seen, Matt, is the Hilltoppers running the ball in between the tackles. They did it a lot in the first half last week using Barry, Connick. This week, though, they will give you a look. They'll fake that, and then they're using the speed of Ruckel on the outside.
Well, and you have to think, too, that maybe Mitch Hewitt saw something on film that led him to believe we need to focus more on the outside against this Kenston Bombers squad.
Hawkins in motion. He'll take the handoff, running, and he's upended 1 yard ahead at the 41-yard line. Clock running with 5:15 before halftime.
Jamie, last year a 21-14 finale. Right now it's 7-all. And you have to just kind of maybe be thinking in the back of your mind, this could be creeping toward another classic between these two schools.
Roger Davis in the game as the sun now back behind those large trees afar from Memorial Field. Starting to get a little cooler. Ruckel under center. Again, Hawkins in motion. Now he'll take it left-hand side, going way wide. 45, fumbles the football. It's on the ground, and it looks like Connick jumped on it for the Hilltoppers. Yes, he did. Boy, there was a bomber who had his paw on it, but it squirted away, and the Hilltoppers are fortunate. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Ryan Bush, the defensive back, had a chance, but just kind of squibbed out of his hands.
4:20 and counting. Score tied at 7. R.J. Pike is in the game, as is Muir, Berry, and Connick.
Boy, that was a fortunate bounce for the Hilltoppers, and now they're in a 3rd and 2.
Ruckel under center. Gives, no, keeps. Running right side, stiff arm, he's got the first down, 45-40. Puts another move on, and he falls ahead to the 35. Another big gain for the athlete.
Nick Ruckel gambled a little bit there. He had a chance where he could have safely ran for the first down and maybe picked up 5 total yards, but he decided, you know what, I'm going to continue to go outside. Had a stiff arm and made his way for the big first down.
Snap. And he's going to go down. No gain there on the play. Clock continuing to run, 3:35.
Well, Chardon, Jamie, I believe will be content to let a few more seconds burn off the clock here, take their time.
Well, this is a situation last week when the Hilltoppers had the ball late in the half, elected to continue to play a little bit aggressively, and West Geauga ended up striking back. Hilltoppers here controlling the clock. It's 2nd down, 11, 3:06 and counting. Ruckels now from the gun. Takes the snap, throwing to Muir, complete, left side. Gets across the 30 to the 29-yard line. Positive yards, but it will bring up 3rd down.
A little bit of West Coast offense there, going with the screen.
Good high percentage pass.
And Jamie, a play like that, it's going to keep Kenston thinking outside, and perhaps setting up an inside run here on 3rd and 4 from the 29.
Ruckel is under center. Connick in the game. He gives to Bolden. Bolden breaks a tackle, has the first down. I think. Let's see where the spot is.
He may be a yard short. It's going to depend on the spot.
No, they did signal it is a first down to the 25-yard line. A little bit of forward progress there.
He got a good spot from the official and just a good running job by Bolden. Kept his feet moving and his head down. And more importantly, Chardon, with that first down, will keep the clock running, and they're inching closer and closer to the Kenston red zone.
A methodical drive here. Ruckel from the gun. Now 2 minutes remaining before halftime. Connick and Berry are in the game. It's a bad snap. Ruckel, though, athletic play to grab it. Running right side. He's being chased and wisely throws it out of bounds. Now we have a late penalty flag.
Well, the penalty was far away.
Boy, Matt, bad snap. Ruckel, though, showing why he's a basketball player in the winter, tips it up to himself, and once he started running to the right side, he had no chance really to get past Mike Braun, who was in pursuit. Let's see what this flag is on first down. It's an ineligible man downfield on Chardon.
And you have that happen sometimes where there's a bad snap and all of a sudden the boys up front just will take off thinking, okay, I need to block somebody because it's now going to be a run.
1st and 15. This snap is good. Ruckel's going to throw it long to the end zone. He's got Douglas, who leaps up and makes the catch. Touchdown Hilltoppers with 1:44 before half.
What a great catch, going up and coming down with it.
Chardon back on top, 13-7. Tyler Hogan in for the extra point. It is good. 14-7. Chardon. So the Hilltoppers getting a little bit of their own offensive magic right before half.
Well, they go to the air this time for a score. Each team now with one passing touchdown. And Jamie, a big-time momentum swing here. This time, Chardon, that long clock-eating drive leaves, roughly about 100 seconds, 104 seconds left in this first half, and it does not put Kenston in a very good position to go what's probably going to be 80 yards if Hogan can get that ball into the end zone.
So Douglas, who let Richards get behind him for the Bombers score, comes back and gets on the board for Chardon.
Well, second time tonight that Chardon has had a touchdown lead.
Tyler Hogan in the kickoff for the Hilltoppers. Decent crowd over on the Kenston side, Matt. I have to say I'm a little bit surprised, though, that they weren't able to fill up those bleachers on the opposing side.
I would have thought they might have had a few more fans come out, but who knows? Maybe the heat just kept a few at home.
So the life back in this crowd at Memorial Field as Hogan approaches the football and hits it in the air, right side. It hits and falls. It's a live ball picked up by a Bomber. That's Kochev, and he gets across the 20 to about the 21-yard line with 1:38. Bombers have 2 timeouts. We'll see what they try to do.
Now they have to go about 79, 80 yards.
Coach Pete Thompson will receive the football at halftime. His Bombers will. So we'll see what they try to do. Keep your eye on Darrell Richards on the far side of the field. Zackham from the gun. Alex Kochev is also lined up as a wide out. He's looking for Kochev, throws it. Kochev dives, but he cannot hang on, incomplete. 1:34 left.
Each team, Jamie, with 2 timeouts left as well. And Kenston, if they're not careful, may leave more than enough time on the clock for Chardon to potentially get a quick half-ending strike.
You could be right. Richards now moving to the other side of the field. Douglas is the corner out on him.
Douglas plays him a good 10 yards coming off the line.
Now they're going to switch it up. Zackham is the quarterback, rolling that side, right side, throwing, and the pass is short of its intended receiver, Brian Brezovic.
Looked like a little bit of confusion in the Topper secondary, but they kind of picked it up and put it together as that play went on. Unfortunately, an incomplete pass. An incomplete pass bringing up 3rd down and about 10.
Don't forget, at halftime, we will have the Chardon Hilltoppers marching band here on GTV.
Tonight's one of those nights I'm not glad I'm a band member.
No, it's going to be warm for them.
In their full uniforms, too. A lot of times you'll see some band in a summer uniform that's shorts or something like that. But
whistle on a timeout by the Bombers.
Hey, I would like to remind everybody, GTV's on the internet. We have a sister website that is www.geaugatv.net. That's the big difference there, .net. And it's where you can see both channels 20 and 22 live anywhere, just like you're at home. Our streaming service is subscription-based. You can order a month or a year at a time and watch GTV wherever you go. Florida, Columbus. Heck, even if you're in Kenston and didn't want to, come to this ball game. Plus, there's more. GTV's new website has video on demand as well, so you can select recent programs we've aired, and for just $4, you can watch that show as many times as you'd like for 7 days. Streaming video of both channels or video on demand, all available now at geaugatv.net. So sign up now.
Back at it, 3rd down and 10. 21-yard line for the Bombers. Zackham from the gun. He's going to throw it deep over the middle for Richards, and it's over his hand. Incomplete. Riley Hawkins also dove and tried to make a play. And so as we were saying, the Bombers, they try to throw it 3 times. They take 18 seconds off the clock, and now they'll give the ball back to Chardon, and the Hilltoppers will have 2 timeouts.
Well, Chardon will have plenty of time to do something with it. You saw them on that last drive, Jamie, not afraid to go through the air 25 yards out. And Hawkins is going to go back to about the Chardon 40-yard line now, stepping up a little bit.
Solte again is the punter. Good snap. Punt is in the air. It's punted right at Hawkins, who fields it on a bounce across the 50 to the 45, and he falls ahead to the 43-yard line. So Chardon, they have the field position and the timeouts.
Well, Toppers have 1:12 on the clock, Jamie. We've seen them running the football successfully to the sidelines throughout this game, and that's something that if you can run it outside, you can stop the clock and maybe even save a couple of those timeouts if you get down near the goal line and decide you might want to try something straight ahead.
There on the sidelines, there was an interesting little thing going on between Hewitt and some of the players. They had a good laugh. Hewitt, well liked by this team. 1st and 10, Ruckel throws it incomplete. Now 1:08 before halftime.
Yeah, Ruckel looking for Roger Davis and was a wee bit short.
Davis will come out of the game. Coming in is Janda. Also Johnny Spear. Hilltoppers from the Kenston 42. 2nd down and 10. Ruckel shotgun with Barry behind him. He's going to throw it. Pass was intended for Spear, over his head and almost intercepted.
Some quick pressure coming in from the Kenston D-line, and that pass, fortunately, not intercepted.
So now Chardon faces a 3rd and 10, 1:05 to go before halftime. Hilltoppers on top, 14-7.
They need quite a few more yards, too, to get into Hogan's range as well.
Hogan, though, is one of the better varsity kickers that you will find. A senior, he's been kicking on this football team in his 3rd season. Ruckel gives it ahead to Barry, who breaks through the line to the 25, on his feet, across the 20, down to the 15, maybe 16, and Chardon gets a quick timeout.
Well, the clock will stop until the chains reset, looking to see maybe if Chardon will, and now Mitch Hewitt does call a timeout with 58 seconds left to play. A good call. Everyone was thinking passing. That left a lot of running room up the middle.
16-yard line. .58 seconds.
For the Hilltoppers, a lot of things you can do now, Jamie, with 1 timeout, 58 seconds left to go. You can try maybe a few more running plays, but you know, if you do that, you want to be cognizant of the time and want to hurry it up a little bit. You don't want to, you know, I don't want to say lollygag, but you certainly don't want to take your time and let that 58 seconds evaporate.
Well, Chardon needs to make sure they have a plan immediately. You know, you get a sack here, you get a bad snap or something, and if you start panicking, that's when you wind up with no points, because clearly they're within Hogan's range right now.
And the nice thing is, 1 timeout, if they do have that bad snap that results in a sack, you know, worst comes worst, you can call the timeout and give your kicker, you know, enough time to do something with it.
Wing T formation, Ruckel under center. He's going to fake to Barry and keep it. Does not have much of a gain. Clock will continue to run. It'll be 2nd down and maybe about 8. Now 47 seconds and counting. Offense getting quickly back to the line of scrimmage. Barry and Muir are behind Ruckel. Ruckel takes the snap and will spike it on 2nd down with 36 seconds left. So the Hilltoppers have given away a down there.
Well, that was something where a little bit of confusion on the Hilltoppers, and you know, looked like they might have been able to run a play, but just wanted to reset and talk and you know, run the play right. And Jamie, you know, you can't fault them to a certain extent because you don't want to turn the ball over here. You have some points that you can easily score.
Now on third down, though, they're going to have to pick up the first down or make a decision. Ruckel rolling right, throwing back across the middle. It's incomplete, but a flag comes in. It was Nick Lippert, the intended receiver, and where that flag was thrown, it's likely to go against the Bombers.
Well, if that does, that will be a humongous penalty.
Wow. Referee makes the signal. It is pass interference against Kenston. So Chardon will move it forward. They will get a first down on the play. They still have their timeout. They're on the 9-yard line, and it'll be first and goal.
Love to see the Hilltoppers punch it in from here. 32 seconds left to play.
Still with a timeout. Ruckel again, the wing tee behind him. Muir in motion. Ruckel's going to keep it right side, bouncing to the outside. 6-5, dives for the end zone. No signal, and he is short.
Was out of bounds just shy of the goal line, maybe a foot or so.
1-yard line. Now 26 seconds.
Jamie, this is going to be important. There's really enough time to run maybe
Clock is stopped, yes.
2 plays if they go straight ahead, because Kenston's going to kind of take their time coming off the pile.
So, Chardon with a chance here. Ruckel, the goal line package is in for the Hilltoppers. Ruckel's going to keep it over the left side, and he's in for a touchdown. Ruckel's second score.
I was going to say Nick Ruckel's second score in this one. No doubt about it, compared to the last potential touchdown on this side. And Chardon, unlike last week, looks like they're going to be going into halftime with the momentum on their side.
Absolutely right. Big, big play. And you said it, Matt, when Kenston elected to try to be aggressive just their last time they had it. They gave Chardon good field position, and the Hilltoppers cash in. Extra point up and good. 21-7, Chardon with 22 seconds left. There's been a lot of action in the last 2 minutes of this game.
There has been, and it's certainly kept these fans sitting in their seats, getting a little bit anxious as halftime comes near. But this is something, Jamie, we didn't see last week from Chardon. It was almost like they had to learn that killer instinct again, because this time, boy, they really went for the kill in this quarter. And how big, Jamie? How big was that pass interference penalty?
It was incredible. That was third down, and the Hilltoppers would have had to make a decision. But Nick Lippert going over the middle, able to draw the flag. So Tyler Hogan again puts the ball on the tee. Maybe an opportunity for Chardon to try a squib or something here. Back is Richards as well as Kochev for the Bombers. Hogan does try a squib kick on the ground. It's picked up by the Bombers, immediately tackled at around the 38-yard line. Bombers with 1 timeout, but just 17 seconds.
Would imagine, considering the situation coming out of halftime with Kenston receiving the ball, we may very well here, Jamie, just see a knee or perhaps just a token handoff up the middle.
21 points for Chardon. And the defense has played well, too. Let's give them some credit. Just the 1 lapse in the secondary. You're right. Zackham takes the handoff and takes a knee. The clock should be running. It is not. But that will be the last play of the first half here at Memorial Field. 8 seconds and 7, and it's going to run off. Chardon Hilltoppers very fired up right now on the way to the locker room, and they're going to get a standing ovation from the home crowd. Stick here on GTV. The Hilltopper Band coming up, and then followed by that, we'll have the second half.
2011 Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band. Our assistant field commanders are Chrissy Savitas on piccolo and Ryan Gillespie on sousaphone. The band is being led onto the field this evening by senior field commander Sarah Cunningham. Our opening tune became a huge hit in 1970 when it was recorded by former Supremes frontwoman Diana Ross. The song became Ross's first solo #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and was nominated for a Grammy Award. Here is Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Our Toperettes and Majorettes with captains Maggie Williams, Megan Connolly, and Kelsey Crawley. Here is a medley of tunes made famous by The Temptation and the Jackson 5, My Girl and ABC. the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. In 1987, Franklin became the first female artist to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Feel free to sing along as we close our show with R-E-S-P-E-C-T. For the Chardon High School fight song.
Great job as usual by the Chardon Marching Band as we get set to start the second half here at Memorial Field. Jamie Ward, Matt Jaworski. The Hilltoppers will receive the kick, Matt. And boy, 21 points in the first half. They played very well.
They absolutely did. And Chardon looking to get it going again and keeping the momentum alive. When they came back out onto the field after halftime, had a little bit more bounce in their step than they did last week, and actually had a little bit more of a bounce in their step than Kenston is, who just kind of lumbered back onto the field.
Bombers are in need of some momentum. Hilltoppers trying to get their first win of the season at home as the kick goes to the left side and is fielded across the 20. Hawkins to the 35-yard line. He's eventually brought down.
Riley Hawkins finding a hole and turning on the Jets and gets a 35-yard line. A nice return.
Hilltoppers offense coming back out onto the field. Matt, Nick Ruckel, an incredible first half.
164 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Oh, and by the way, he also threw for a 25-yard touchdown pass as well.
He will be key again in the second half. We'll see what the Hilltoppers decide to do offensively. They used a lot of the edges and a lot of the corners. Zach Berry, who's the fullback, likes to run in between the tackles. We may see more of him. First play is Berry, straight up ahead. He's undercut, gets maybe a yard, second down.
Well, Kenston starting to bring a few more guys into the box, and they now have about 8 guys into that box up front. And that might be one of their halftime adjustments, is continue to bring those guys in to force Chardon to beat them.
Head coach Pete Thompson knows defense. Wing tee for the Hilltoppers on second down. Ruckel turns and gives again to Barry going forward. Good run. He's got about 5 yards. It'll bring up a third down and about 3.
Well, a nice fall. And he picked up another 1 or 2 yards the way he fell forward. Should be third down and about 4.
Jason Janda in the game for the Hilltoppers. He is wide out, near side of the field. Again, Toppers from the wing tee. Bombers creeping into the box. Again, it's Barry running ahead. First down to the 50.
Nice first down and going to midfield to Chardon. Jamie, one of the things that Kenston's going to have to be a little bit concerned about is if the Topper backs can break through that first wave of defenders, if you will, because there's really no one back home to act as a safety at this stage. So this could potentially set Chardon up for some nice long runs.
We saw Barry do that in the second quarter. 10:30 and counting here in the third. First and 10, midfield. Ruckel, again, Barry, 4th carry of the half. He's got 4 yards straight ahead.
Barry, 5'11", 205, the senior. And when he starts running end zone to end zone, he can just be a bruiser at times.
When I said they might go to Barry, Matt, I did not have a tip from the locker room. It would seem as though I was in the know. Second down, 6 now coming.
I bet you just studied game film from GTV last week.
3 or 4 times. Hilltoppers, the give. Oh, there's a fumble. Alex Muir actually ran into, I think it was Barry, might have been Bolton, and the ball was fumbled. That's one of those things that there's so many moving parts with the wing tee. Oftentimes before the snap, those sorts of things can happen.
Sometimes it's, all it takes is one person to think of a different play that's going on, and, you're running it from the exact same formation, and there you go. A little bit of a miscue.
Third down now in 10. Connick, Muir, now lining up in a trips type formation to the near side. Man in motion. Ruckel's going to keep it right side across the 50. He has a lane. 40, 35, still on his feet. He cuts it back. Nobody is going to stop Nick Ruckel tonight. Touchdown, 51 yards.
Nick Ruckel well over 200 yards rushing in this contest. And Jamie, John Connick, a great block near side here. It helped open up that outside hole. And then Nick Ruckel did the rest of it himself with a little help from his friends.
He had the hole, but he did a nice job of making guys miss. And then he had a nose to cut it back where no Bombers were waiting. 27 points for Chardon. Extra point coming. It's good. 8:56 left in the third quarter. 28-7. Hilltoppers, I cannot imagine, Matt, a better first home game for Mitch Hewitt up to this point.
Everything has gone the Toppers' way. And Mitch Hewitt, well, you never want to say it too early, how the score could end, but boy, this, you couldn't script it better. A tough loss last week to turn around and to face a very tough Kenston squad that a lot of people thought could, and they still very well may contend for the CVC chagrin, but boy, right now, Kenston is going to really have to turn it around, and it's going to be tough to shut down this wing tee if they keep doing this.
In the last 2 years, Kenston has won both games. We mentioned the 21-14 last year. In 2009, it was 37-19, so one-sided. I remember that game on GTV. The Bombers have won 4 of the last 6 matchups. And if you go back, these teams have played the last 8 seasons. It's actually knotted at 4, but Kenston has been in control of late.
Well, the new sheriff in town may have something to say about that.
Hogan has the ball on the tee. And there's a little kick by Hogan, puts it in the air. It hits at the 40, and it is fielded and taken out of bounds by Jamar Williams, the senior.
Jamar Williams picked it up and did the right thing. He might have gambled and saw if it could have gone out of bounds, but there were some Hilltoppers closing in who could have picked it up and had a little bit of running room.
Hilltoppers feeling the momentum, taking a gamble. They will give Kenston some decent field position to start here at the 37-yard line.
Jamie, when you're comfortable with the way your defense is playing, it's one of the plays that you can do to try to make something happen.
Kochev was in motion. Now Zackham again will look to his offensive coordinator for the play.
Kochev has been really quiet on the offensive side of things. They've been using him more for blocking.
Yeah, great defensive player, and a false start by the Bombers. Not knowing the snap count was number 33, Zach Goldfarb. And so Bombers will go 5 yards back to the 32.
Chardon in command, 28-7. And the last time we saw this defensive unit, Jamie, Mitch Hewitt, when they came off the field, was just ecstatic, to say the least.
Zackham from the gun. He's going to keep it right side, spinning, and he's taken down by 3-4 Hilltoppers. He does pick up positive yards, maybe 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd and long.
Will Blankenship and company just clogging that offensive line up and forcing the quarterback to run sideline to sideline, and boy, you just can't get many yards that way.
8:23 and counting. Now the Bombers back to the I formation. Zackham, he's going to give it to Kochev, wide left side, who's running forward across the 40 to the 42. It will be 3rd down, though, for Kenston.
Well, 3rd down and manageable. Kenston now at the 42. Jamie, perhaps one of the surprises that did not occur in that first half, we were told a couple water timeouts would be conducted during this game, and so far none have been used. Still rather warm, that fake handoff.
Zackham rolling. Now he's going to throw it. He's got a guy wide open. It's caught and taken inside the 40 to the 35-yard line. That was Brezovec. Big 3rd down conversion for the Bombers.
Well, Brian Brezovec found a nice hole in the Chardon defense and pretty much just camped out and picked up a big chunk of yards. And Kenston in some good field position now on the Hilltopper 35-yard line.
Blankenship comes off for Chardon. Darrell Richards is lined up on the near side of the field. I formation for the Bombers. Zackham under center. Gives it ahead to Lombardi, who is stopped at the line. No gain. 2nd down coming.
The way these quarters have played out so far, Jamie, I'm surprised that Kenston is not going to the air a little bit more than they have. They have not had any success running the football tonight.
A little bit with Lombardi at one point, but it's been a nice job by the front 4 of Chardon and those linebackers led by Zach Berry, who had 4 tackles in the first half to lead all of his teammates. Oh, and there's a whistle, and it's probably going to be a false start on the left guard. That's number 70, TJ Ewing. Yes, it is. So move them back. Now 2nd and 15. 6:30 to go, 3rd quarter.
A couple basic penalties, if you will, on Kenston, and perhaps they're just starting to get a little bit mentally fatigued at this stage of the game.
Hard snap count. Zackham ran into his fullback, gives it to Lombardi, who stopped immediately at the line. No gain. And so now 3rd and long. Kenston has put themselves in a bad position.
Well, and they've been facing that throughout the evening, Jamie. Third and long, third and long, third and long, and it's tough to continually convert those third and long plays.
Under 6 now in counting. Glad if you're listening at home on Channel 22 tonight, as GTV is going live for every Chardon Hilltopper football game. Matt Jaworski will be with you next week for all the action. Zackham from the gun, third and long. He goes to Richards, makes the catch, tries to break a tackle. Good help, though, by the secondary, and he'll be shy of the first down.
Well, Richards finally getting a little bit of yards after catch, picked up about 5 after he got his hands on the ball, but they will be a good 5 yards short of the first down.
So now it'll be 4th down. The referee has said that they are going to take a timeout as number 73, Nathan Lewis, a junior, runs off the field for Kenston. And a replacement comes in. 4th down and 5, and the Bombers are going to go for it.
Now, it's one of those situations where you're looking at probably about a 47-yard field goal, not normally a high school kicker's range.
Big play, Zackham from the gun. Coach F in motion. He's going to give it to Alex. Running to the far side, Barry snuffs him out and takes him out of bounds.
Zach Barry, what a display of speed. He came out of nowhere and just turned on the burners.
Another 4th down stop by this Hilltopper defense, and it's a big one. They'll take over at their own 30-yard line with 5:11 left here in the third.
A lot of questions coming into this ball game, Jamie, about both sides of the ball for Chardon. Could the Chardon defense stop Kenston? Could the offense get moving and sustain drives? And so far tonight, they've answered both of those with a resounding yes.
The give, right side, Alex Muir, who bounces off a couple of tacklers. Good gain of about 7 yards on first down, 2nd and short.
Alex Muir just kept bouncing outside. And this stage of the ball game now, the most important thing you can do, hold on to the football.
This is one of those situations. So many times we've said, Chardon trailing, their offense is not conducive to coming back. But now, with a 3-score lead in the third quarter, this is the exact situation where you pick up 4 or 5 yards per carry, you run out this clock, and you go home with a win. 2nd down 3, Ruckel from the gun. Bolden now in motion. He fakes the hand up the middle. He does have a first down to the 43-yard line.
Nick Ruckel keeping the chains moving.
Ruckel has been very slippery, very good on his feet.
At the start of this drive, Jamie, 215 yards on the ground and 3 rushing touchdowns.
And he's not done.
Been a long time since we've seen this production from the Chardon quarterback position.
Ruckel again gives it straight up the middle. Positive yards, about 4. Moving the pile ahead, that was Matt Bolden. Bolden is a sophomore, 6 feet, 190 pounds. Roger Davis checks in for Chardon, 3:42 and counting. Chardon on top, 28-7.
Nice, too, how Mitch Hewitt can sub in some of the younger players on this squad, get them a little bit of varsity time and help them grow.
Wing T, Ruckel fakes the give, breaks another tackle, left side across the 50. He goes to the corner, stops, makes a bomber miss, and has a first down. That's another 12-yard gain.
Wow. Hey, Jamie, you want to remind everyone that you can follow GTV with Twitter for all the latest replay news and other important information. So join GTV on Twitter, and you'll have all the latest. Easiest way to do, just do a search for GTV. That's what I did. GTV, quite a few followers.
Just another way that we continue to improve our services, and we have a whistle, and a bomber is down over on the far side of the field. And the way that he's sitting, we may have our first cramp of the evening.
I think so, and this is going to be one of those water timeouts where both of the teams are going to hydrate up. And, you know, at this point, Jamie, not much you can do in terms of preventing cramps. That's something where you've had to been drinking the right liquids throughout the week, because a little bit of water here, you know, won't keep you from cramping, but it'll, you know, certainly keep you, you know, hydrated enough to play this game and finish it out. It's still very, very humid.
Oh, you look across the field. The next time, it is a fog over by the Kenston, the bleachers, and back over by where the middle school is. It's really, you know, the humidity today is incredible.
I'm going to probably regret saying this, and I'm going to preface this by saying I like to get up every morning and start the day with a shower. I work in an office all day that's air conditioned. I'm not doing anything but broadcasting this game, and I am just, the sweat just dripping off of me.
Yeah,
and I can only imagine what it's like for the players.
See a lot of wet towels down there as well, trying to cool guys off. The bomber in question is now up and off the field, and both teams will get back at it. It's a 1st and 10 for Chardon. 3:17 left here in the third quarter. Nick Ruckel telling his offense to play. He's just been so outstanding today. He's going to be under center with your wing tee. Bolden behind him. Connick to his right. Muir in motion. The give is straight ahead to Bolden. Stays on his feet. Nice job to get a couple extra yards. 5-yard gain.
Jamie, the wing tee just looking sharper and sharper as this game progresses. And I've got to admit, I've been faked out a couple times within this drive on who's had the football.
Well, that's the point. Under 3 minutes now. Chardon in their element. There's the give, straight ahead again. Bolden breaks through, and he has a first down across the 30.
Boy,
right at the 30.
Bolden, Jamie, just makes it look so easy. It doesn't look like he's running with much effort, but obviously he is. But just a real nice run, and he's had a few of those tonight and a couple last week as well.
Neil Thomas is an offensive lineman in the game now for Chardon. Let's give some credit to Sam Wilkes, the center, number 70, Marty Kepler, a sophomore over there at the left tackle. The offensive line has played fantastic. The give, right side. Muir cuts it ahead across the 25 to the 24. Again, making one guy miss and getting positive yards.
Now, clock continues to run, and the Chardon defense just clicking on all cylinders. I don't know if there's a better way to explain it. They've had success with the quarterback, and now they're letting their horses do what they do.
2nd down and 4.5. Bolden is back behind Ruckel. Connick in the game. Roger Davis is a wideout, but I don't think you'll see him here. There it is again. Bolden straight up the middle across the 20, and he goes inside the 15 to the 14. Another Chardon first down.
Boy, I like that. He just lowered his shoulder and boom, taking a couple bombers with him for a few more yards. They get a free ride. And Chardon inside the red zone.
May I have your attention, please? There are cars blocking the Kenston buses.
Clock is running. It's just an announcement here at Memorial Field that there are some vehicles blocking the Kenston buses. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, Matt, but that is probably not good. Ruckel gives it to Muir. Left-hand side, 5-10. He's untouched. Touchdown, Chardon.
Muir, the 15-yard touchdown with 1:17 remaining in this third quarter. And Chardon is running away with this one, 34-7, looking to add one more.
Alex Muir, another great hole on that left-hand side. Hogan out for the extra point.
Nick Ruckel doing the holding. Tyler Hogan. It's up.
Again, he drills it through. And with 1:17 left in the third quarter, it's 35-7.
Well, Jamie, up by 28 points with a minute left to go. You start to look at this Chardon schedule now. Maple Heights next week. A lot of people, I think, in the beginning of the season looked and said, boy, that's going to be a tough game to win. But if they continue to play like this, that could be a very close and perhaps a very winnable game for Chardon against the Maple Heights squad. That's going to bring back a lot of experienced linemen from their state championship team last year. You look at the PAC schedule, the North, which upset Brush to start week 1, that has a very high-profile offense. Madison, 2 road games, and then home to South on the 30th, which, boy, if this defense can play well and contain some offenses, they could be, heading into that heart of the pack schedule, potentially with just, 1 loss on the year. And that would put them in great position for the playoffs.
Hilltoppers do have a very difficult schedule, but one of those games was this one, and they are taking care of the Bombers 35-7.
Granted, you don't want to start jumping ahead in the schedule, and then this game's not over yet, but barring a complete collapse, the Hilltoppers.
Good kick by Hogan. Richards will field it at the 4. He was going backwards. Good long legs, though, and good speed across the 20 to the 25, still on his feet. And he's eventually taken down at what appears to be the 33-yard line.
Daryl Richards right there doing what he has not been able to do all night, and that's advance the football. He has tried, and he has been covered very well by the Chardon defense on special teams. They've done a good job of kicking it away from him up until that point. And really right there, he shows why he's a Division II, Division I recruit at this point in time.
Paul Judd and Tyler Carver are in the game defensively for the Hilltoppers. Pump fakes to the left and then throwing to the right. Zackham incomplete over Richards' head. You've got to throw it pretty high to go up over Richards, who again is 6'3".
Well, 6'3" and has some good jumps on him, but.
Second down and 10.
You see Richards line up on the near side now.
The give, Lombardi cuts it up. Nice gain there. He's pushed ahead for the first down about 12 yards to the 45.
Most successful run of this second half by the Bombers.
Kenston will need to work quickly, trailing by 28.
No, they have that quick strike ability thanks to number 16. But they have to get him the ball or find a way to get him the football.
Oh, that's not good. One of the Bombers was going toward the line of scrimmage at the snap. Okay if you're in the Canadian Football League, but in the United States, that is a penalty. And the Bombers will go back 5 yards. You know, I see some smiles down on the field, or down on the sidelines for Chardon, Matt. That's a very good sign.
It is. It's something that they didn't, or they weren't able to do last week. And really, Jamie, there's just so much pressure on this high school football team to do well. And a big win tonight will help to alleviate some of that pressure.
30 seconds and counting, 1st and 15. The give is to Lombardi. Straight up the middle. He has maybe 3 yards. 17 seconds and counting. Could be the final play of this third quarter.
Chardon, of course, a program that most of you are aware, very, very tradition heavy, of course. 1994, the state champion. And a very proud football tradition. They would just love to get back on those winning ways, and so far they've done it here tonight. And here's how they've done it as the third quarter comes to an end. It was Nick Ruckel in the first busting off an 89-yard touchdown run that came following a goal line stand. And at that point in time, Jamie, we said, you know what? That stand right there could be a game changer. And so far, it's stood up that way. With about let's just say under 6 minutes to go in the second, it was Zackham who hit Daryl Richards from 40 yards out to tie the game at 7. But Ruckel then answered with a pass to Douglas 25 yards out with about 1:44 remaining to retake the lead 14-7. Chardon, thanks to some good defense and the fact that Kenston just went pass happy near the end of the first half, got the ball back, and Ruckel from 1 yard out after a big pass interference penalty made it 21-0. Ruckel struck again from 51 yards out early in the third, and then Alex Muir from 15 yards out, just about 1:17 left in that third quarter. And for a fourth quarter action, back to Jamie.
Second down and 12. Zackham rolling to his left. He will keep it and get positive yards, a first down across the 40 to the 37. Good gain there of about 20 yards for Austin Zackham.
Austin Zackham has not had the opportunity to run tonight that you would have thought. When you look at his attempts last week, Jamie, 17 rushes, 28 yards, and 1.6 average. I don't have the numbers in front of me for what he's done tonight, but I would venture to say he may only have 5 or 6 rushes total to this point in time.
I formation for the Bombers. We saw some of this more when the game was close, and there is Kochev carrying it ahead. Alex Kochev was the player of the year, defensive player of the year, named by the Geauga County Touchdown Club as a junior. Didn't play any offense last year, and one of the reasons was he was so good defensively. But the Bombers, who graduated Pat Porter, had a hole in at tailback, and so Kochev will see a number of carries this year.
Well, Pat Porter, what a tremendous talent he was.
Fake to Kochev. Zackham throwing it over the middle. Pass caught by number 9, and he has a touchdown. Brezovic, 32-yard strike with 11:03. So Brezovic streaking down the middle, and on the play action to Kochev, secondary was caught, and Kenston now with 13 points. And they will immediately bring out the place kicker, Sky Zahner. Snap is up, almost blocked. Coming through is Hawkins, but Zahner got the kick away, and it is good. 35-14.
Boy, Riley Hawkins made that close.
So the Bombers are hanging on. Kenston's band getting a chance to get into the action here on the far side.
Outside of halftime, they haven't had much to play about.
Kenston and Chardon's band were featured in the Geauga County Maple Leaf newspaper's 2011 high school football preview, which was on newsstands last week. Of course, you can still get copies. Had a chance to go around, Matt, and talk with various band members during their band camps and their two-a-day practices, if you will. Bands work very hard in August to get their halftime shows ready and perfect the national anthem oftentimes, and the fight song and the alma mater and all those different things.
Jamie, I'm curious. I didn't get to read that far into the football preview. Did you ask a lot of the kids why they are in band?
Yeah, you know, most kids who are in band start when they're younger, and then they just stick with it. You know, that seems to be the answer that I would have from the bands that I talk to. You know, and marching band is sort of a special animal as compared to your concert band. I think all of the kids really like the camaraderie. I think that they, you know, enjoy the football games as well. Most of them are paying attention and know what's going on, although not all. But it's a team just like anything else, as Riley Hawkins takes the kickoff on the right side across the 20 to the 27.
And if I understand, too, specifically with the Chardon band, they got a couple of brand new toys this year, 3 to be exact.
Yeah, you're right. I had meant to mention that the tuba section, starting the year, was only 1 tuba, and so 3 members had to learn the instrument, and they did so. And so when next time you see those 3 shiny gold tubas out there, those are first-year tuba players.
Oh, Good job by the tuba players. They sounded pretty darn good tonight, keeping us entertained at halftime.
1st and 10 for Chardon. Ruckel is from the gun. There's 10:58. He'll keep it going up the middle, picking up about 5 yards. Clock will run.
Chardon at this stage, Jamie, would just love to run a good 5-6 minutes off the clock, a long time-consuming drive that ends in any kind of points. This stage of the football game, if you can get the clock down to under 5 minutes and be up by 4 scores, that is very difficult to overcome.
Back to the wishbone on 2nd down. Muir in motion. Ruckel gives it straight ahead. That's Bolton. He has tackled no gain. In fact, he probably lost a yard.
Now they're going to mark him back to about the 31-yard line.
So it'll be 3rd down and about 6 yards coming up as we are under 10 minutes here in the 4th quarter. Chardon on top 35-14. Jamie Ward and Matt Jaworski with you here on GTV. Reminding you again that it is Labor Day weekend and the Great Geauga County Fair will be replayed on GTV not only this weekend, but expect a lot of coverage from that event. Ruckel with a little option play to the left-hand side, but the Bombers on top of it snuff it out for no gain.
I think they might have lost even 1 more yard there. Ball will be marked at the 30.
Hilltoppers will punt.
I've not seen the punting unit too often tonight from Chardon.
Back is Brennan Divis, a senior, 5'7", 155 pounds. He's a defensive back for the Bombers. Now this is where the clock management becomes so crucial. In high school, you've got a 25, it's 25 seconds on the clock?
I think it's...
Or did they change it to 40?
I think it's 40.
We'll figure that out at some point. Good kick by Kirsch. Booming. Hits at the 35, and Divis cannot get a return. It'll roll all the way down to about the 23. Great punt by Jacob Kirsch.
With Jacob Kirsch coming through in the clutch and really put Kenston back to about the 22-yard line. Now here comes the Bombers offense, Jamie. And last time we saw them on the field, it was Zackham to Brezovic from 32 yards out. Can they do it again?
It's what they need. Zackham is from the gun. Brezovic and Richards are the 2 wideouts on the far side of the field. Everyone's stacked on that side. Zackham rolling that way. Throwing. Down the field. It's picked off by Stephen Douglas. He stepped in the way of Brezovic down the sideline, and he's pushed out of bounds. A flag comes in late.
A huge interception for Stephen Douglas.
Douglas there, Matt, was just waiting back, watching Zackham, and as soon as he saw the ball fly, he stepped up in front of Brezovic and took it away. Where this flag is, we'll see what the call's going to be.
Stephen Douglas, to go back to that play, he had a little bit of help on Daryl Richards, and that allowed him to go for the ball and make that play, because otherwise he would have had to really be guarding Richards a little bit more closely and couldn't have made that pick.
During the return, the Hilltoppers were flagged for an illegal block, and so the ball will move back to the 24-yard line with 8:30 left in the 4th quarter.
Stephen Douglas, what a play. Give that man a break. Give him some water.
He has made 2 fantastic plays today, including that catch down in the end zone.
So from the 24-yard line, Chardon set to get back to work.
Ruckel from the gun. Muir in motion. Ruckel's going to keep it himself left side. Across the 25, he's going to cut it back up. There is a flag down, though. Good positive yards, but it is a hold on the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, this one is coming back. The referee threw the flag himself and made the immediate signal, and boy, that negates a very nice run.
And it will also stop the clock with 8:22 left here in the fourth quarter.
Perhaps at this point, even more importantly, it stops the clock.
Ball back to the 37-yard line. Well, don't forget that this season we'll have soccer, boys and girls here on GTV. Volleyball is coming up. I believe we do a few tennis things as well.
It's on the schedule.
That's Jan Black, who getting set to make her GTV debut this season. Ruckel is rolling to his left, and a little pass completes to Bolden. Positive yards. He is pushed out of bounds.
Bolden found a nice little hole in the defensive zone, and while Ruckel was scrambling, he just took advantage of that, and a good gain, and we'll move him up to about the 31-yard line. Pickup of about 6.
Yeah, 2nd and 17 now.
Second down, about 16 yards to go.
R.J. Pikus comes into the game.
R.J. Pikus, number 38, checks into the huddle.
Sam Wilkes, the junior center, breaks the huddle, gets on the ball. Ruckel from the gun. Bolden to his left. Muir in motion. High snap, give though to Muir, left side. Moving forward, squirts through across the 25-yard line. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 11.
A great run by Muir, and I don't know how he kind of just squirted through that little hole there and picked up a few more yards, but Chardon now in a very manageable 3rd down in 11 situation.
7:28 and counting, 35 for the Hilltoppers, 14 for Kenston.
Now 3rd down and 11 yards to go.
Ruckel has Bolden behind him. Roger Davis is split out far to the near side. Ruckel takes the snap. He's going to keep it right side. Now he looks to throw. He reverses field completely. He's being chased by Bombers. Now he has a lot of free room in front of him. 15, puts on a move. 5-3, dives. Touchdown.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. Nick Ruckel ran about 50, 60 yards on that play. Overall, it'll be a 25-yard touchdown run at the 6:53 mark from Nick Ruckel. And Ruckel.
I'll tell you what, Matt.
I'm speechless.
So am I. Nick Ruckel, as you mentioned, all the way on the other side of the field, was looking to throw it. And what I'm impressed by, Matt, is to have the confidence to reverse field like that. It's tough to do. Hogan actually misses the extra point, but that's really a moot point at this time. At this point, 6:53 left in this game, 41-14 Chardon.
Well, that is going to make it very difficult now for Kenston to come back from this one. But boy, Nick Ruckel's offensive line, things broke down. The guys didn't give up when they realized that there was a lot of pressure coming from Ruckel on that to that far sideline. He's being flushed out that way. They stayed with their guys. They then set up another wall, and Ruckel able to get around that wall, tiptoed the sideline so well, avoid a couple defenders, and dive into that end zone.
A game Nick Ruckel will never forget. Hilltoppers screaming right now, and they're telling number 32, who I don't even have on my roster for Chardon, to get into the kickoff team. I don't know. Just trying to get him in, I suppose.
Well, by my calculations, Jamie, Nick Ruckel has over 250 yards rushing.
Absolutely incredible. Talking to Ruckel before the season, he said, I expect to have a big season. I know that my offense is going to rely on me, but he was a little disappointed, Matt, that he wasn't going to be playing cornerback this year. He was actually in pursuit of the school record for interceptions. I don't know if you remember last year in a game against VASJ, when he had the big interception down the sideline to help Chardon win that game.
I think that was a 13-7 victory. And that was the difference maker.
Kochev is going to return this kickoff across the 50 to the 45, making all kinds of guys miss. And Tyler Hogan, the kicker, makes the touchdown-saving tackle.
And that is what you do as a kicker. You stay back. You're that safety valve. What a job by Hogan. He made a great open field tackle right around the legs, and he is getting a standing O as he is coming back to the sidelines.
Matt, Tyler Hogan is 5 feet 4 inches, 125 pounds. Alex Kochev is 5'10", 200.
Kochev may get a little words from the rest of his teammates.
It films. You're right about that. Zackham's going to roll to his right. Now he's being flushed and chased. A good gain, though, after the play fell apart, and it's a first down. No, it's not. He's just shy of the first down.
Boy, almost a case of Ruckel did that, well, I can do one better on a broken play.
Clock is stopped with 6:27. No, it is a first down now as the officials fighting one another as to what the call was.
They've had some better days, the officials.
There's a penalty and an encroachment on Chardon.
Offside Chardon.
So Chardon, the offsides, will move the ball 5 yards farther.
Clock running again, 6:20 and counting. Chardon trying to get a player off the field. They cannot, and so they will burn a timeout.
I would like to remind everyone, GTV has an email service that will send you GTV replay information. So go to the website, geogatv.org, and sign up. When we set our schedule, you'll be the first to know. It's easy and informative, so sign up now. And really, once again, to remind you, we have the other website as well, geogatv.net, where you can order you can check our streaming service subscription, and then also video on demand. And boy, the Ruckel family might just want to video on demand this one. Watch it this week because Nick is doing something awfully special tonight.
This is a for sure buy for the Ruckel family of this DVD. Go to geogatv.org to learn more about that. So, Bombers back on the field. 6:15. Zackham from the gun. He's going to throw it to Richards. Left side, catches it, has a first down, and goes quickly out of bounds at the 11-yard line.
Well, clock is becoming an important factor now for Kenston. Stopped at 6:12. And they are down by plenty, 41-14. The Bombers on the short side.
Right back to the line of scrimmage. Kenston spreading it out. Do have a tight end in the game. Zackham's going to keep it up the middle. He is stopped short. He's going to be at the 6-yard line. Clock running, 6:05 and counting. Back to the line. Kochev is the back. Again, the gun. Zackham fakes, running right side. He is tackled. He's hit hard at the 5.
He was hit pretty hard. In on the stop was Pete Lemaster.
Chardon trying to get somebody off the field. 3rd down and 4, 5:30 and counting. Zackham gonna throw it left-hand side, and it's well short of the intended receiver, Richards. 4th down. Bombers will have to go for it.
So that brings up 4th down for the Bombers.
Certainly not a field goal situation.
No. Down 27. So same formation. Zackham looking, pump fakes, running right. He's got room, and he will have a wide open score on the 5-yard run with 5:18 left here.
And a 4-yard run by
Chardon, of course, with a lot of reserves in defensively at this stage in the game, trying to get some guys some playing time. I saw Chris Jones, 6'1", 260 senior, out there on the field.
Jimmy Shortino, number 3, will hold.
There's the kick. It is up and good. So 41-21. 41-20. Sorry about that. Did he miss the extra point? I looked down. I just assumed.
I was writing as well. What the scoreboard reads.
Yes. 21-point deficit for the Bombers.
Mentioned, Jamie, some of Chardon's upcoming games, and you look at Kenston's schedule, and it does not get much better for them. Next week, they have to go to Brush, and Brush with 3 Division I recruits on that team, a highly regarded Division I team. They'll get a reprieve the 16th when they host Wycliffe at home, Mars Purcello's squad. But then the big one on the 23rd at Chagrin Falls. And that is a date that a lot of folks in the Falls have circled on their calendars.
Well, it's the Chagrin Valley Conference's Chagrin Division is one of the toughest in the area, as we've talked about before, Matt. You look at Aurora, Kenston, Chagrin Falls, West Geauga is never an easy win. Perry who seems to be down of late, always a well-coached football team under Matt Rosati.
Of course, this year Harvey's a new addition, or a second-year addition to the CVC. I believe they're actually playing in the Valley this year. Late flag.
Onside kick attempt, and it's fielded by Jason Janda. He falls on it. Let's see what the flag is, though.
Yeah, the one judge was racing up the sidelines and threw that flag up just shy of the 45-yard line.
Penalty on Chardon. Looked like a end line interference call of some kind. And so they're going to move the football to the 32 and a half, and that's where Chardon's offense will take over. And we'll see for the first time Drew Gittens, the sophomore quarterback for the Hilltoppers. He'll replace Nick Ruckle. His day done. Well earned. We'll see a little bit of what Chardon's future holds here in Gittens. Gives straight ahead. He's immediately stopped. A lot of subs in here for Chardon, as you'd expect. Teddy Gould, number 1, is in the game. I see Pete Judd, number 23, coming in. Whole new squad.
Yeah, even the big boys up front, they are all on the sidelines.
Well-earned break. 4:48 and counting. Second down and 11. The give right side. Number 29, he's tackled back behind the line. That's sophomore Joe Connick. 3rd and long.
Called Connick's name a couple different times tonight.
Well, they're brothers. You've got Joe, who's a sophomore,
that's right,
and John, who's a senior. Now running onto the field, Anthony Spano, also a sophomore.
Clock continues to run, and you know Chardon's just going to continue to work that clock down as much as they can. Let it go until the last second.
Gittens under center, 4:02 now and counting. The give straight up the middle. Is it a fumble? Yes, it is, and Kenston takes over on the 28-yard line.
Well, Jamie, this might be a situation where Mitch Hewitt has to bring back out the first-team defense, and he is. You can a score here, a touchdown here, and all of a sudden it's a 2-possession ball game.
Blankenship coming back out. Douglas, of course, Hawkins, Paul Judd, I see, Sam Wilkes as well. So put the chin straps back on. 3:58. First and 10. Zackham is the quarterback for Kenston. He's going to look long down the right side. Richards had his man beat, but the throw was too long and it falls incomplete.
Well, Richards had Douglas beaten. I don't know if Richards saw the ball coming to him.
Just a little bit outside of his range. Now 3:53 left. Second down and 10.
But not a bad idea, though, to go to your playmaker at this stage of the game, down 3 scores.
Mitch Hewitt, head coach, with the headset off. Actually, all the head coaches have the headsets off right now. Zackham throwing, complete to Richards. He gets right out of bounds. Smart play.
Bumps
to
on
the 18.
Bumps in the official, but his goal was to get out of bounds as quickly as possible.
You know, I just have to say, Matt, I think it's funny that the Hilltoppers coaches have all given up their headsets right now. And I have to think that they've been disconnected in some way. I mean, and a timeout by Chardon. Maybe they'll bring the tech guy back out. Hewitt, though, out to talk with his team, as is Francis. Bob Francis, one of the guys who was kind of rumored in the beginning to maybe become the next head coach of the Chardon team, but was able to join Mitch's staff.
Well, Mitch Hewitt certainly has his hand in this defense, and it really is his defense. He is the defensive guy, and he needs him now to make a stop here on 3rd and 4.
Hall of Fame inductions next week. And Matt, interesting that this year the Chardon Athletic Hall of Fame is going to induct the entire 1994 football team into their Hall of Fame.
Why not? Really, though, when you have a team like that did something so incredible, it's hard to leave someone out.
Shotgun for Zackham on 3rd and 4. Rolling to his right. He's going to throw. Complete. Oh, no. Richards dropped the ball. Wow. Ooh, wide open. And just took his eyes off of it.
He is mad at himself. He knew that he had the first down wrapped up.
4th down and 4, 3:45 to play. I saw Cal McGee come back into the game for Chardon as Blankenship checks out. Cal McGee, 6 feet 7 inches, 375 pounds. Biggest man on the football field right now. He's a junior. And the Bombers trailing by 20, trying to convert this 4th down. Zackham rolling right, looking to throw back across. He makes one man miss, and now he's going to keep it himself, running up the middle. He gets down to the 15-yard line. He will have the first down, and the clock will stop with 3:34.
A big first down pickup, and boy, Zackham, a broken play, but he does it with his feet, getting that first down. The clock being wound.
Right back to the line, Zackham looking right side. It's a poor pass, though, at the feet of Brezovic, who has a touchdown today. Clock stops at 3:26. Now, Kenston does have all 3 of their timeouts.
Well, the Bombers perhaps feeling that they need them later on in this game and trying to save them, but certainly within a ball on the 15-yard line, you can run some quick outs and put yourself in that first down or end zone position.
2nd and 10 from the 15. Zackham looking to his left. Now he's going to be pressured. Breaks a tackle, though, to the 20. Throws across the field, and again the pass is short. He had Brezovic at his feet, though. 3rd and 10.
Boy, getting up very slowly as Doug Cross was kind of limping, and
3:18 now to play.
He's hopping off the field and trying to get off.
Makes it to the sidelines. Well, Brezovic is near side. Richards is far side. Those are the wideouts to keep your eye on 3rd and 10. Zackham rolling to his left. He's going to keep it across the 5 to the 4, maybe right at the 5. He is out of bounds. He probably has the first down with 3:10.
Boy, Darrell Richards and Stephen Douglas, just a good battle on that side. If they're not covering one another, just blocking.
Jared Yurchek, the junior, comes off for Chardon. And it is 1st and goal. And a timeout is going to be called by the Chardon Hilltoppers with 3:10.
Well, that will be their final timeout. A reminder that birthdays, anniversaries, and other special occasions can be made more special through GTV. Send that terrific picture or those pictures to us, and we'll help highlight the event. Enclose a self-addressed stamped envelope with the pictures. Once again, the address is GTV P.O. Box 336 Chardon, Ohio 44024. Or if you'd like to email us a digital version, you can do that at giagatv@windstream.net.
Hilltoppers talking with Coach Hewitt and Coach Francis there on the timeout.
Now, this game is far from being over now. At one point, Jamie, we kind of thought it was, but Kenston, a quick, striking team. 3:10 left to play. 3 timeouts of their own and looking to bring it in.
Zackham is going to keep it, and he is stopped short. He gets about a yard to the 4-yard line. The clock is now running, and Kenston has to keep their timeouts here. You're really never, I shouldn't say never, but it's really hard to get 2 onside kicks. If you keep your timeouts, you might only need 1. Clock, though, running. 2:50. Zackham right back to the line. He's now rolling to his left. He's going to keep it, and he is stopped immediately. No gain. 2:36 now and counting.
Judd in on that tackle.
And now Kenston will use a timeout with 2:31.
Boy, if you're the Bombers, you would have loved to use that timeout when Chardon, if Chardon had got the ball back to stop the clock, but not the case now.
So the last few minutes here of this game have slowed way down, but most of the fans are still on hand, waiting for that clock to count down, waiting for Chardon to get their first win here of the 2011 season.
For the Hilltoppers, this is a big, big down. 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. It is obviously 2-down territory. It's go home or bust for Kenston. They can't get that ball in the end zone. They will force Chardon to try to move the ball from near the goal line. Maybe hope that they can strip the ball and get a fumble, but they'd rather go for 7 right now.
They're going to have to score here. There's no doubt. Zackham was pressured, and then he cut it up to score a touchdown. Almost sacked, but then back to the middle. And Kenston now has 26 points. And immediately, the Bombers are going to send out their field goal kicker.
Oh, for them, Jamie, I mean, it makes no sense to go for 2.
Well, I see. I completely disagree. Oh, it's blocked! Extra point is blocked, and now you trail by 15, 41-26.
Riley Hawkins, the block.
Big play. Makes no difference. Boy, he almost had the other one.
He is a beast on special teams.
So 2:25, 2 timeouts left for Kenston. They will obviously attempt an onside kick.
Fans starting to exit Memorial Field here, and kind of surprising. It's still a close ball game, and
well, that block was big. Now you have to get a 2-point conversion at some point, trailing by 15. Still, though, down 2 scores.
Well, usually you'll see that 2-point conversion at the last. You know, they'll delay that as much as they can. But you know, the big thing here, Jamie, Chardon, if they can get the ball back, the onside kick has to be coming. It wouldn't make any sense otherwise for Kenston. So, you know, get those guys that are standing near the 50 ready. This could be a line drive kick at them. It could be a squib kick. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, they have Barry, Connick, Janda, Nick Lippert, and Roger Davis all on that front line. That is the Chardon hands team. The kicker, actually, in this situation is Michael Braun. Little flubber, and it is immediately covered up by Chardon at the 41-yard line. That's where the Hilltoppers will take over. Let's see what the offense looks like here. It is going to be, it'll be Gittens again.
Well, 2:24 to play. 2 timeouts left for the Bombers. But Chardon up by 15. Mitch Hewitt showing some faith in his youngsters.
Gittens under center. He does have Barry behind him. He's going to keep it himself left side, and he is brought down hard by number 59, I think, right? Yeah, Russell Lewis on the tackle.
Loss of about 3 yards.
Kenston now coming down. The assistant coaches are leaving the press box in what is usually a white flag. And they will not call a timeout, in fact. So Kenston conceding here at the end.
Okay.
1:48 and counting. Gittens will look at the back judge here, wait for him to signal that there's 5 seconds on the play clock, which he just did. He'll take the snap. He'll give it straight ahead. And it's about a 4-yard gain. That was Zach Berry, the senior. Now 3rd down.
Well, as the clock winds down, Jamie, history's about to be made here in Chardon. Mitch Hewitt is a matter of 70 seconds from earning his first victory as the head coach of his alma mater.
Gittens again under center. He gets the signal from the back judge. 56 seconds and counting. 3rd down. He fumbles the snap, picks it right back up, though. He's tackled by about 6 Bombers. Now 48 seconds and counting. It'll be 4th down. Chardon will have to snap the ball again.
I wouldn't be surprised here to see Chardon once again run that clock all the way down, because it's going to be close if I'm not mistaken. Well, it depends when they count the ball being set. The punt team's coming at it. It might just be a matter of seconds.
Looks like about a 7-second differential. 25 seconds now and counting. Again, 41-26. Chardon on top.
Number 2 is back for Kenston.
13 seconds and counting. They cannot run it out. In fact, the back judge just signaled 5 seconds. It looks like they're going to take the delay, and they will. Flag thrown with 6 seconds left in this one.
Now, this is the old, we're going to keep it for 6 seconds play and not do anything.
Remember, Hilltopper fans, be here next week. Last year's state champs, Maple Heights, will be in here next week.
So 6 seconds, the punter Jacob Kirsch out on the field. We'll see if he does kick it or what he decides to do. It's a bad snap way over his head. 3, 2, he throws it. The game is over. There's a flag being thrown. A flag is being thrown. The Chardon Hilltoppers are out on the field right now celebrating.
The game cannot end like that.
But let's see. I wouldn't be surprised if he just picks it up. And I think he's going to. Doesn't even matter if he does. Teams at middle of the field right now.
Waving it off.
Wave it off, and the Hilltoppers a winner here today. 41-26. Their first home game, their first home win. You know, Matt, Mitch Hewitt said back in August, he said this senior class is the start of something great. he's worried about the underclassmen because he's trying to build a program, but he said that about the seniors, and now he and Nick Ruckel will forever be entwined on this one night. Ruckel, a career game, and Hewitt, his first win.
Absolutely. We had the chance to talk to Hewitt following the loss last week, and one of the things that he said was, you know, when I do get my first win, I really don't want the game ball because I'd rather, you know, whatever player played his butt off that day get it because it'll mean more to him than it was to me. This will just be one win, you know, hopefully what will be many.
There's no question that Nick Ruckel is the player of the game with as well as he played. Hilltoppers will go meet over in the north end zone, and Mitch Hewitt and the rest of the coaches will address them. And boy, it was a long game. It was a hot game. But the Hilltoppers with their first win, and just like that, the season changes, and you can be positive about where this team is going.
Absolutely. Chardon fans, your quarterback ran for over 250 yards, had 4 rushing touchdowns, and 1 passing touchdown. I hope I'm not missing anything here. There's 41 points on the board. That's a lot of scores in this scorebook here.
Final score again, 41-26. Thank you for joining us here on GTV. For Chris and Jeff Graw, who have given their Labor Day weekend to GTV, as well as executive producer Dave Jevnikar, and for Matt Jaworski as well, I'm Jamie Ward. Thanks for watching GTV. We'll see you soon.